The Manhattan Project, weapons that changed the world. Today, almost everybody knows about the nuclear bomb. But back during World War II, when it was being created and even tested, nobody knew about it. It was only after we used it on Japan and changed the world did the general public actually find out that such a power ever existed. The government had its reasons for keeping secrets, mainly to keep this information from German spies. Even so, it must have been extremely hard, because the initial detonation of the first nuke at Trinity Site created a blinding flash visible from 200 miles away, a 40,000-foot-high mushroom cloud, and a concussion blast that blew out all the windows in the civilian homes for 100 miles. Then, when the cloud came down to Earth, it created a half-a-mile-wide crater and melted all the sand in the surrounding area into glass, as seen here. Soon after, a bogus cover-up story was released saying that an ammunition dump had exploded in the desert. During World War II, this was a plutonium enrichment center. They were used to weaponize plutonium in the process of making nuclear bombs. These centers were probably manned by hundreds of workers at one time. So, how did the government keep this a secret? Well, there were many contributions to this. One of them was the fact that the Manhattan Project was separated into several different locations. For example, research, enrichment, testing, and designing. This made it so that none of the common workers would know much more about the project past their own job. Another contribution is that the workers probably had some sort of motto, like this one. What you see here, what you hear here, what you do here. When you leave here, let it stay here. Also, many of the civilians back then were pretty ignorant compared to today's standards. But, surprisingly enough, it all worked out. This is a once classified picture of the first atomic bomb, nicknamed the Gadget by the scientists who created it. This is a picture of the first two nuclear bombs used at war, Little Boy and Fat Man. Little Boy is the long, thin one in the lower left, and Fat Man is the large, thick one in the top right. These next two pictures are pictures of the mushroom clouds created by the nuclear bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan. Soon after World War II ended, Russia finished the creation of its own nuclear device. This started the Cold War, though it was mainly due to the fact America had created a nuclear device in World War II. Because both sides already had nuclear devices, they had to create something even worse. Therefore, the thermonuclear device, or the hydrogen bomb. These WMDs, or weapons of mass destruction, were why this war was so different. During the Cold War, there was no real fighting. All the Cold War was America and Russia threatening to blow each other up, until both sides decided to make a treaty to stop the usage of all nuclear devices. The thermonuclear device creates its tremendous energy from the fusion of hydrogen atoms, hence H-bomb. This is opposed to the fission system as in the original nuclear device, where it was the splitting of atoms instead of fusing them. Though both processes create a lot of energy, the fusion process, as in our sun, is far superior. In the thermonuclear device, there are two stages. The first stage is an implosion-type fission bomb, which is used to create the heat and pressure needed to fuse hydrogen atoms. The fission bomb also produces X-rays, which help set off the second stage. The second stage is a thick tube of a lithium deuterium, which is a chemical mixture of lithium and deuterium to fix the problem of hydrogen being a gas at room temperature. This fixes the problem because the X-rays from the first stage cause the lithium to change into tritium, which along with deuterium are both isotopes of hydrogen. Inside the lithium deuterium tube, there is a rod of fissionable material that is set off by the X-rays, which causes a second explosion similar to the first. These two nuclear explosions put so much heat and pressure on the lithium deuterium that the hydrogen inside literally fuses together. This is a process similar to what goes on inside our sun, and in turn creates almost 1,000 times more energy than the original nuclear device. The first test alone created 700 times as much energy as the bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan.